like and subscribe. Now.
Employees of McDonald's, what secrets did you discover while working there? My old McDonald's had a basement. E-I-E-I-O. My first day on the job I was told to be on the lookout for the elderly gentleman who would try to sneak around the counter and pour the entire coffee pot into his mug while everyone was too busy to stop him. Did you ever catch him in the act? Sauces for sandwiches have the craziest dispensers. Ketchup and mustard are in these really rudimentary plastic funnel things that have a paddle in the handle. When you squeeze it, gravity pushes just the right amount of sauce through holes. Doesn't seem like it worked well, but it does if you apply the proper amount of jiggling. The mac sauce, mayo, and tartar though, they're in basically cock tubes that get loaded into basically cock guns. You pull the trigger on the handle and a really satisfying ratchety clanking delivers a powerfully saucy surprise for the awaiting buns. Problem is, it takes a bit of finesse, because if you hit that trigger too hard you'll blow the bun and the wad of cream right through the condiment station and onto the wall 8 feet away. No joke. The first couple tartar splurts of a fresh tube came out so hot I'd fire a shot or two in the trash to avoid premature splatulation during the lunch rush. The first salvo, properly elevated and adjusted for wind, could clear the whole kitchen and take out the McInfantry on the cash register. Depending on which one you work at, the parking lot is basically a meet-up for druggies/drug dealers and, at least where I was in New Mexico, people to meet up and have sex in their cars. As long as they kept their business to the middle of the night and didn't cause any serious problems. We were told not to call the cops or make a fuss. Mostly because they'd come in and buy food after their shenanigans. Soda and mini pies were really popular with heroin addicts. What I later found out is that management was actually told to let it slide by corporate. Since everyone higher up was aware of how much money the night crowd brought in. I got to see many drug deals. I'm convinced I saw at least one arms deal. But I of course have no way of verifying that. Midnight shifts were draining but so much fun. The kitchen staff is cut by half, but the people who order are so funny. What I learned from working late night fast food is the freaks really do come out at night. And it's freaking hilarious. My co-workers and I referred to Wednesday nights as Weed Wednesdays because the customers were usually chill. Mondays were Meth Mondays because well, you know. Before I worked there, I always thought they used the grill. Turns it's more of a heated press machine. Used to be a grill. Upgrades. Drop any unopened chicken nugget sauce on the ground once you've got yourself a sauce grenade. Trash compactor can make for some fun explosions too. We had a vol pack of ketchup that needed tossed for whatever reason. Someone didn't realize it shouldn't go into the compactor. I go back after hearing a bang and a scream. Dude is just caked in ketchup and it shot up out of the barrel of the manual compactor and painted the wall, ceiling, and bun rack. They have since taken away the vol packs. The pickles are surprisingly aerodynamic. They stick to walls and, if you have the stones, manager's shirts pretty well. Yeah. They fly amazing. Pretty sure me and my old crew cost that store a void $1,000 the entire time we worked there just throwing them things. LOL. Worked there in high school. Found out that if you put the middle of a Mac bun in the fryer and then add soft serve and strawberry topping, it tastes just like a funnel cake. Custom creations were the best part of working there. Cheeseburger bun fried. Add the chai latte powder. Cinnamon donut. Former employee here. I found out that when making 5 gallons of sweet tea, an entire 4-pound bag of sugar goes in. Sandwiches with round egg use real cracked eggs. Folded and scrambled come from packaged goods in the freezer or fridge. I also had a manager that insisted more people purchase filet-o-fish when it's raining out because they subconsciously associate the watery weather with fish. Anyway, he did some research by pouring through sales of filet-o-fish for months and comparing it to weather data for each day. Turns out he found something like a 3% increase on rainy days and was very pleased with himself. I absolutely love that guy's commitment. He was fueled by the mockery. Screw you guys. It makes sense. Turns out he found something like a 3% increase on rainy days. I'd be interested to see if this is statistically significant. Could just be a coincidence. But clearly that guy has dedication. Turns out the manager just orders them himself on rainy days. They usually only sell 30/day. So a jump to 31 is about 3%. My manager used to be on my back all of the time for giving out too much sauce. He tried telling me the limit is 1 per meal. Our store did 1 sauce for 4 and 6-piece nuggets. 2 for 10 and 3 for 20. My store does this, but I always add an extra sauce for 20 because come on. If 10 gets 2, it's only logical 20 gets 4. A drive-through customer once lost it because he didn't get his free sauce. He ended up punching the manager and then was promptly arrested. Wild times. The official deodorizing spray they gave us is the most pleasant thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. Even now. I wish I could smell it again. I managed a different kind of restaurant. But I know the exact cleaning spray you're describing. Once I had an employee who loved that smell so much that he'd volunteer to clean the bathroom so he could be able to get close to it. He'd take deep inhales over the open bottles. Kid couldn't get enough. But as pleasant as it smells, it's a ton of serious chemicals in that solution. Probably safer not to take big huffs of it. But no one could talk him out of doing it. Eventually I had to stop letting him clean the bathroom. LPT, want to get out of bathroom duty. Pretend you're getting high on the cleaning products. Ecolab or KQSR restroom odor neutralizer. I order it often for the maintenance guy. Easy way to get the bathroom and even trash bins smelling nice. I think there's ways to buy it online if you look it up. Nice stuff. Zep brand odor eliminators work great as well and are easier to get. This reminded me of auto class back in high school. After class we would all wash the grease from our hands, and the specific soap that they got had this very strong pleasant orange smell. I remember one time they switched to a different type of degreasing soap and everyone was annoyed because it didn't smell nearly as good. And surprise, we got the orange one back when the bottle ran out. That's Gojo, I think. They have it on sale sometimes at AutoZone. Probably other retailers as well. Link to Amazon. I learned that if I have time to lean, I have time to clean. Got time to text. Got time to Windex. You got time to flop. You got time to mop. Whoever coined that phrase has a special spot reserved in hell. They should have said got time to lean. Got time to fix the ice cream machine. I worked at McDonald's when they first introduced sweet tea and remember that it was brewed in a large bucket mixing hot water with a full bag of granulated sugar. It makes me sick to think about, but I still sometimes crave that disgustingly sweet tasty garbage. Somebody elsewhere in the thread mentioned it's 4 pounds per 5 gallons. I'll just take the 1 gallon. Then, we have a chain around here called Chicken Express. I don't know how much sugar they put in their tea. But McDonald's doesn't hold a candle to it. If you order a half unsweetened, half sweetened tea, that's still sweeter than McDonald's. Dehydrated onions. You put them in a metal thing and just add water. The thing is, they still taste great. But I was shocked and happy that I didn't have to go cut onions. Those onions can be turned pink if you use hot water instead. Or at least the hot water at the store I was at. AHH. That's why we were told to use cold water. Didn't know this. Did they taste good just dehydrated? They're hard and crunchy and weird dehydrated. Worked at McDonald's Australia. Back when we had the old cheeseburger buns. Before McDonald's got healthy, we used to scrunch up the buns and deep fry in the fry vat. Covered them in sugar. And you end up with something tasting like donuts. Man. Reading these I am wondering why my McDonald's was so boring. We didn't spit on anything. The stuff that needed to be kept clean was kept clean. If it wasn't required it would be filthy. The ice cream machine worked fine. Food wasn't undercooked, on occasion it was overcooked. Employing high school kids, of course they are gonna make some mistakes. But nothing too bad. My time wasn't bad. We kept it clean. And no one I know ever tampered with the food. But there was a lot of funny things that happened. So I have a lot of stories. Example, one day. We had 10 minutes to close. It was myself off at close. The grill closer. The service closer. And the manager. Grill closer had on a headset. As he was praying, no one else came in as he was very low on a few things and didn't want to make more right before closing. This guy prided himself on having things done and being out the door within 10 minutes of closing. Bosses loved him because other closers took up to an hour. And that meant paying them for up to an hour. One thing to know, our headsets had two buttons. One talked to the other headset only. The other talked to the outside speaker. He had been playing a game where he was trying to make the service worker laugh while she was taking the orders. You probably see where this is going. So a driver pulls up to the speaker. He orders a 20-piece nugget. Closer is pissed. And pushed the talk to other headset button and goes, "Man. F that stupid effing order. F. Except. Of course. He hit the wrong button. Needless to say. Someone got a free 20-piece. And another free meal in the future. And grill members were banned from wearing headsets for a while after that. Worked in one from 2000 to 2005. During this time, they changed the bacon. The new bacon isn't as good. During this time, they changed the shake mix. The new shake mix isn't as good. The shake machine works just fine. So long as someone remembers to fill it before it gets too empty and goes into automatic 90-minute self-clean mode. It also takes a very long time to start up. So if someone forgets, there's no shakes for 30 minutes. This was never a problem for me whenever I did opening shift. I'd kick off the coffee brewing for my team. Then start up the shake machine for myself. The chocolate chip cookies and McGriddles taste amazing if you eat fresh out of the oven. Always made an extra half tray for myself. If you're ordering a meal, say the size first, large number 1 with a Coke. Everyone knows that ordering the meal is cheaper than getting that same sandwich, fries, and drink individually. But here's the secret, the POS has a button for the large number 1 and a different button for the medium number 1. Then another menu for the drinks. So if you say I want a number 1 with a Coke, I can't hit any buttons until I know the sizes of the meal, the size of the fries, and the size of the drink. The newer POS systems make your last point a bit easier, where you can click make meal and change the size there. Here's my experience every single time I do that almost. Hi. I'd like a large number 7 home style with a Coke. That's a number 7. What size? Large. Then I'd like. Drink. A Coke. Home style. Spicy. Or broiled. Home style. That'll be $8.99. Pull through. I'd also like. Then I get to do it all over again. For the one I worked at in high school, burgers are kept in a warming area for no more than 15 minutes, then thrown out and new ones are made. You get a free meal from anything except the salads. Meal is a sandwich, medium fries and a medium drink. At the end of the night all the cooked meat is thrown out. If you want you can use it to make burgers and take them home with you. Specific tools and grill section for cooking chicken vs beef to make sure they don't cross for those customers who don't eat beef. The Hindu co-workers were very vocal about this rule if you work the grill. Regarding the free meal, I remember it was a free meal every 4 hours. Ultimately, you could have 2 free meals during an 8-hour shift. I think that was store specific. We got 1 meal and technically 1 drink, but the manager said if we were thirsty just get something to drink. Just don't abuse it. Not really a secret, but when I'm on wrapping the food, and I get nuggets I might slip an extra 2 to 3 because I like the thought of someone getting hype over an extra nug or 2. I started working at McDonald's when I was 15. The secret is that it's probably one of the cleanest restaurants in your city. The standardizations and routine practices leave little room for employees to think for themselves. It was a way cleaner restaurant than the $30–50 per person place I would work at later. Exactly. I worked at McDonald's 10 years ago and eventually went to work at a high-end restaurant in a fancy part of my city. I'm still amazed at how clean my McDonald's was compared to the fancy restaurant. My BF is a trained health inspector and said he would eat off the floor of McDonald's. The Big Mac is just a double cheeseburger with 1000 island dressing, lettuce and an extra piece of bread. If you order a double, add lettuce and Big Mac sauce, you get the same thing with less bread and cheaper price. If you want a good replacement Big Mac sauce, 3 big tablespoons of good quality mayo, about a single good tablespoon of ketchup, 2 teaspoons of gherkin relish, 1 tablespoon or so of pickle juice, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, half to 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Mix till thoroughly combined. Leave in the fridge to let the ingredients make friends with one another overnight. Do you mean half a teaspoon of turmeric? I've been cooking a long time and that seems way off to me. It's just so overpowering. Not trying to be an a-hole, oh man. Thanks for the heads up. I edited it, thanks buddy. The cups of ranch, like for nuggets, is different than the ranch that goes on wrap sandwiches. I believe that kind is buttermilk. I think most McDonald's have discontinued the wraps though. Sadly. Fun fact. I met the love of my life at McDonald's. We were both teenagers and closed together 5 nights a week. Him and I had the best work ethic because we both had worked at McDonald's for a few years, so we knew the closing procedures like the back of our hands. Every time I ordered a wrap, he'd make sure to grab a ranch cup and use that instead. Always told me it was made with extra love. Cute teenage SH. Before we knew it, we got an apartment together. Months turned into years. We planned our lives together. Almost eloped. I couldn't picture myself with any other person. Neither could he. Sadly, he passed away unexpectedly last year. I was heartbroken. Obviously. But it forced me to take a good look at my life and change what I didn't like. Now every time I think of McDonald's, I get flashbacks that take me back to such a blissful time. Such good memories. Definitely wasn't the greatest job. But knowing how to do the procedures in a smart way and working with fun people, who also work smarter not harder, really made it one of my favorite jobs. Nothing much honestly. I worked there for over a year. Everything is cleaned properly. No one messes with food, because there's always a manager nearby. The food is rather fresh, etc. While a lot of the stuff is frozen. That doesn't make it bad. Only thing is, the tea is very easy to screw up. It's easy to accidentally leave the spout open and have tea covering the floor. Once we had a bag of coffee break and it got into the ice and into the tea, and we didn't realize right away, so some people got some coffee in their tea. When it comes to allergies though, everyone I worked with was very diligent. If someone had a bad allergy to, like, bread, we would remove our gloves, wash our hands/arms, put on new gloves and make sure that the item was okay. Given that was probably the case because we didn't want a lawsuit. Another secret is how much food McDonald's wastes. We had a bucket to toss the food in, and managers had to count it at the end of the day. It was disgusting to see how much perfectly edible food was being thrown out. Luckily, if your manager is cool, you could ask to eat it in the back quickly. This was especially the case with pies. Frankly, the company was fine. They offered to give you scholarships, pay for you to get your diploma if you didn't have one. Always paid above minimum wage, though sometimes barely. And it was easy to get a promotion if you asked and put in the work. That being said, I still hate corporations, and the franchise owners were a-holes who ignored a bunch of stuff. Customers threw their food at me if something was wrong, i.e., not enough salt, and I had minor burns from it. I was told I was a massive C and should KMS. List goes on. Oh, also, you're not allowed to take tips. There is a glitch with the McDonald's app. There is a deals section and it usually has a coupon for a free cookie or free apple pie with any order. Add it to your order and you get the free cookie. Then, the next time you order from the app, just reorder your last meal. You can add/subtract whatever you want, but the free cookie will still be there. The glitch is that you can add another free cookie from the deals section. And now you have 2 free cookies. Evidently there is no cap to this. I now get 5 free cookies with each order. I stopped at 5 because I felt that any more than that would be overkill. You are genius. I guarantee you somebody snitches this SH to the cloud. Effing Ronald. And they'll kill that as soon as they read this. Not really a secret. More of a story. One time someone replaced the chocolate syrup in the shake machine with barbecue sauce on accident because the bottles are similar. They're labeled differently but it still happened. We found out because a few people complained that the chocolate shakes were sour. We remade them for a couple people and they moved on, but one lady just wouldn't let it go. My manager tasted the shake and was like WTF, then looked and we saw the culprit. Had to clean the line after that so we didn't have chocolate shakes for a minute. It's a f-ed up mess of cogs and gear that still has some f-ed way of working. Ex-worker of a McDonald's. It's a f-ed up mess of cogs and gear that still has some f-ed way of working. Employees of every company. It's easy to hold the view of an organization as super competent and well run when you don't have to deal with its SH 40 hours a week. People would do just about anything to get their hands on Beanie Babies in the late 90s. We had a rule that you had to buy a meal to get the Beanie Babies, so people would come in, order 6 meals, then throw away the food and leave with the toys. Get a cheaper burger dressed as a Mac to save money on buying a Big Mac. You can ask them to throw an apple pie into the McFlurry, so you now have a pie McFlurry. The big breakfast usually is made with scrambled eggs. You can ask them to be sunny side up as well. If the fries are yellow/brown, the oil hasn't been changed in a long time. If they come out white/very pale yellow, they're made in fresh oil. 1 pie is the same cost as 2 pies. Always buy 2. Cause why the F not? You can ask for leaf lettuce instead of the shredded stuff. Sometimes it tastes better on certain sandwiches. The eggs are real. McDonald's is the biggest buyer of chicken and eggs in the world. Tim Hortons eggs are made of powder. A couple of Mormon missionary guys came in one time and ordered their food. And also ordered French fries with no salt. So the fries had to be fried specially. With no salt. They told me it was their tactic to get hot fries. As a former employee, I learned you could ask for anything you wanted fresh. I always thought it was hilarious how people would think they'd be so smart by ordering fries with no salt when you could literally just ask for fresh fries. I work at a fast food place, and when people ask for fresh fries, some people here just put the fries we have ready back in the fryer for 20-ish seconds. You can ask for grilled cheese. We put cheese between 2 backwards buns and grilled it. All drinks come in as a syrup and are carbonated on the spot. Hence why it can taste flat sometimes. There used to be a way to get a discount code for every second that the timer was running on a coupon. But they patched that in 2017. The ice cream machine at my place usually broke down because people mixed up the milkshake bags with blue caps and the ice cream bags with red caps while filling the machine. Mismanagement is surprisingly common, and corporate doesn't give a single SH as long as there is sufficient profit coming in. The ice cream machine at my place usually broke down because people mixed up the milkshake bags with blue caps and the ice cream bags with red caps while filling the machine. Worked at a Chick-fil-A years ago and someone mixed up the coleslaw dressing with the ice cream mix. Was disgusting to clean. At my McDonald's we have a vanilla chai smoothie, which has a very similar color to the milkshake mix. To prevent mix-ups, every type of product uses a different type of nozzle/connection/packaging, so it's pretty clear when you're grabbing product. Aside from, Reading the big labels on everything. Unfortunately, every so often you'll hear some dumb guy going, hey, they changed the nozzle on underscore 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 underscore. I just wish they would make that comment beforehand. Fries are delicious when dipped in Big Mac sauce. That the ice cream machines aren't actually broken 99% of the time. They're typically powering up because someone forgot to turn them on at the appointed time. We just say that they're broken because it's short and concise way to express that you're not getting your ice cream for the next few hours. I visited a McDonald's when I was interning with the local health department. The inspector said that everything would be highly regulated, i.e., corporate. He was right. It was very clean and very orderly. Apparently it's the mom and pop places you need to worry about. The chicken nuggets bounce. The crap kind of McDonald's are you guys working at? I've worked at 2 different ones. Hours away from each other, and we would never dream of pulling these stunts. You people do realize that there are cameras. And the customers can see into the kitchen? Nothing is hidden. Honestly. Anyone claiming the employees do disgusting stuff with food is lying. The kitchens are not only open and completely visible to customers, but also heavily monitored by camera. If someone was messing with the food, you can bet they would be fired and escorted out before they even finished whatever deed they were committing. Look. It's fine to not like McDonald's. It's fine to think it's gross. It's fine if you just hate fast food, logical. Even. But making things up to disgust people is not okay. Source: former McDonald's corporate employee. Worked in both corporate and franchised locations. Standards and practices are normalized and enforced in both. If you do notice things like the people in this topic are claiming, report it to management or report the location to McDonald's customer service. I remember I went into this one McDonald's that I go to regularly since it was on my way back from work. One time I went in, and I'm not joking when I say models were taking orders, and it looked like they might have even brought in an actual chef to make the food. I had no idea what to think of the situation until I realized there was a woman in a business suit and clipboard was asking the franchisee a lot of specific questions. They must take these visits from corporate seriously if this one went to pretty extreme lengths when they came around. If you are a weirdo that goes to McDonald's for fillet of fish, go at lunchtime. Despite rules to throw that crap away XX minutes after cooking, they regularly would be served late at night. Also, back in the day of 69 cents cheeseburger day,